They're a type of animal that lives in water.
There are 24,000 species of fish.
Fish have been around for a really long time, actually 450 million years.
Fish live in lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans around the world. They live in all kinds of water, from warm springs to cold Arctic seas. Fish can even be found in the dark pools of underground caves. But fish cannot live in water that is extremely salty. The Great Salt Lake in the western United States is so salty that it has no fish.
Fish are vertebrates that live in the water.
Vertebrates have a backbone. Fish have skeletons just like we do. Their skeletons support them and help them move. It's a really important framework for their bodies.
Fish breathe using special organs called gills. Fish will swallow water and push it past layers of feathery gills. Most fish have their gills at the back of their heads. Just like our human lungs, fish gills need a lot of surface area for that gas exchange to take place. So they have layer upon layer of that feathery tissue. Let's investigate. Fish breathe oxygen, and so do we, but their oxygen is in the water. That's something that's hard for me to understand unless I can see it. So today, we are going to try to pull some air out of the water. If you're still here, liking this video, you can show your support by hitting that like button, and most importantly, please subscribe. To get started, I have this clear container filled with water and a lid and this vacuum pump. I'm going to place this vacuum pump over the top of our container and turn it on. It should start pulling all the air here at the very top out of the container. Then it will begin to pull some of the air out of our water. If it works, we should see little tiny bubbles form in the water. Let's give it a try. Begin. It's working. I know it's loud, but it's pulling air from the water. You can see these little bubbles starting to form. They're teeny tiny, but they form and then they float up to the surface of the water. Fish also exhale like we do. Their gills allow carbon dioxide to leave their bodies and head back into the water.
So if you missed it, we breathe like this. And fish breathe like this.
Fish have scales that grow out of their skin, kind of like our fingernails.
It's like little chainmail armor for them as they glide through the water. Some scales are very easy to see, like these. Others, like shark scales, are so tightly formed that you have to look under a microscope to see them. Shark scales are called dermal denticles, or skin teeth.
Fish have fins instead of hands and feet.
Fish fins have bones in them called rays, and the skin between those bones is called a membrane. So fish fins kind of look and work like these diving fins. The outside parts here are like the rays, and this middle part is like the membrane. Fish fins can change shape to look curved. This allows them to push against the water to help propel themselves forward.
See, as I paddle, the force goes down from my hands and arms into the paddle, and it pushes against the water, propelling me forward, just like a fish.
This kayak is kind of like the fish's backbone. If I was paddling out here without a kayak, that would be kind of awkward, and I really wouldn't go anywhere.
Another part of the fish's structure is its lateral line. Its function is what allows fish to swim in schools. These special sensory systems are small openings that allow the fish to detect small changes in pressure in the water. So if one side of the school turns, the other side turns too. If one side goes left, the rest do as well. And if one side goes right, the rest will follow to the right. It's kind of like those terrible dances at weddings where you all do the same thing. Have you ever wondered why most fish don't sink to the bottom of the ocean or float to the surface? How do they stay so perfectly buoyant underwater? Most bony fish have a special organ to help them with that, a swim bladder. The swim bladder is a thin-walled sac located inside the body of the fish, usually filled with gas. Let's investigate to find out how it works. Here is what you will need: a transparent container to fill with water, a clear glass jar, waterproof tape, plastic tubing, and a balloon. This is what you're going to make. The glass jar is going to represent the body of the fish. Your balloon is actually going to represent the swim bladder. You need to leave a hole inside of your glass jar so that water can get inside of that, but not inside of your balloon. The first thing we're going to do is place our fish inside of the water. Our fish or glass jar sank all the way to the bottom. So now what we're going to do is we are just gently going to blow inside of this tube to inflate our swim bladder or balloon and see what happens. When we put the bottle or our fish inside of the tub, it filled with water and sank to the bottom. This is because the weight of the bottle filled with water is greater than the force pushing it up. This changed when we inflated the balloon. When the balloon expands, it pushes the water out of the bottle. As air is much lighter than water, the bottle isn't as heavy anymore. And as the balloon is filled with more air, the weight of the bottle eventually becomes smaller than the force pushing it up. So the next time you see a fish, stop and try and pick out some of the structures that we learned about today. If you want to learn more about animals, you can check out this video next.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?